Hi, Gaura Pramanande.
Wishes every day.
Well, first off, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. As far as roll call, only Kavi is absent. It's not too bad. You can find him.
He's in his hut. I saw him on the tumbleweed.
Great. So, just a few disclaimers, just to get started. This will be recorded so that to help ensure that there'll be proper follow-up, because when you have a meeting, a lot of things are said, and by recording it, by recording it, there's we'll have that, and if possible, we'll transcribe the recording as well, so that everything will be there, so we can make sure there's follow-up. Is there a cushion for copy approval?
Yeah, this one.
Does anybody need another bolster or booster? I know I like to kind of sit up at an angle a little bit. Anybody else need more? Srila Prabhupada has lots of these other pillows and things. Just let us know. Also, there's water here for anyone who's thirsty.
There's chairs too.
And there's chairs. So, we have this agenda just to try to make things flow as smoothly as possible, make sure everybody gets a chance to present what they submitted. We're trying to do 3 minutes per person per topic who's presenting, and 3 minutes per person who wants to make a comment, just to make sure. If we don't get through everything, we'll have another Isthaghosti soon to address that, but we have to start somewhere. So please be patient. And as far as a protocol, we don't want people talking over each other. Sometimes that happens in meetings. So just like in Bhagavatam class, if someone's ready to speak, if they could raise their hand, and then when the person speaking reaches their time limit, then you'll have your time to speak. So we want to have a little protocol just so everybody feels happy. And if we talk over each other, it becomes really, really hard to, come to a good conclusion. And lastly, of course, let's all be kind to one another. Goes without saying, of course. Right, so everybody's here, and these are the agenda items that were submitted in advance, and we kind of put them in the order they came in. So Sundarananda Prabhu was going to start. So unless, Jonathan, you wanted to say something else before we started?
Oh, I just wanted to say
Loudly, please.
thank you to everybody. We haven't really met like this, all of us together yet, but just that I'm really grateful to be in this community, and
Me too.
each one of you are like amazing, and all your dedication to Panchatattva and Srila Prabhupada. And please always feel free to let us know if you have any needs, or if you need us to do anything different. Like, we want to be your servants. So thank you for giving us this opportunity to be able to serve all of you here with Panchatattva.
Yeah, thank you so much. And lastly, anything you say can and will be used against you. Just joking. That's a joke. You have the floor. You had mentioned kitchen and altar standards of cleanliness and punctuality.
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So I like to thank everyone. Vanchakalpaturu Vasya Kripa Sindhu Vaivaccha Patitanam Pavanibhu Vaishnavi. So over the years, staying in Honolulu Temple, we have to kind of, myself including, we have to educate ourselves what Srila Prabhupada really wanted. Because when we were in Mayapur, we got the training from Janini Vashpu and Pankajaniku in the Pujari department or kitchen department. There we learned so many things. So I like to share with everyone. Do not take any offense. It just is to go street. We just want to make sure the awareness of how we can keep kitchen clean, how we can keep the standard in the Pujari room. And Prabhupada says also punctuality is required. Like last meeting we had with Kusha also, we request all the pujaris, when they offer the plate to the Lord, after that they should sweep and mop, and then they should do the arati. It's a kind of standard in everywhere. It's called asuchi. When somebody taking prasadam, and sometimes we put the plate there. We need to clean ourselves. So similarly, we see the Lord as a person. So we have, when we put the plate, we take it out. We need to kind of wipe their area and sweep that, and so that the deity can have nice archan vidhi puja.
Is that
So-
like a few drops of achman and then a cloth? Does that help?
Yeah, it's a wet cloth or some little achman water and just wipe. So that's. So if we all can do this, that would be. I know you are all pujari, you are more senior than me, and I request humbly if we can carry on that. Sometime, I mean, we can get community help to sweep and mop. Like Hari Chakra, he says he will come every Thursday. He will go inside the altar and he will mop and sweep. And then Hara Bapu does on Sunday. So other days we have to find, or if the pujari can do, it's just a 5-6 minute puja. I know Markandeya was doing, but then he gradually gave up. So if you can continue, that will be good, because I saw you were mopping after Mangalarati also. Which, it's little cleanliness, because when you go inside the altar, it's very dirty even in the backside of the altar. So we like to make sure it's clean, and the punctuality is like Prabhupada wants, if the deities are pran pratishtha, if they are, what do you call pran pratishtha in English? Installed deity, they have to have timetable managed, like prasadam, the offering has to be on time, the door has to be open on time and then close on time. These things we learned in Mayapur when we were in the school. And so whoever doing puja, even including myself, we should be on time. And then whoever cooking offering also has to be time to bring the plate to the pujari so that they can be on time. And the kitchen thing is the most important. I don't know if Shakti will be here or Shakti is going, but as long as he's here, I'll request Shakti to make sure your pots are clean and no water in the floor. And if you can do one thing, Shakti, when there is somebody in the kitchen like cooking Rajbhog, some Matajis or Vishwambarpu or some other devotee, senior devotee cooking, if you doesn't come at that time, if you can manage your time when to clean, and that will be good. And make sure the kitchen is very clean, so that, because the kitchen belongs to Srimati Radharani. So we have to make sure that it's clean, everything. And I request all the devotees that use the spices from the, what is called this, container. And so the lid should be tight and it should be wet, because otherwise next person think there is no lids are there. So they think the lids maybe disappear somewhere and it's open. So when it's open in the night, maybe the bugs may go inside. So it's just secure for our own self and secure for the Lord. So that's all. And if sometime non-devotees are coming, they are not initiated, and they are going in the kitchen with the pant shirt, whatever they wear, maybe we can request them to only utilize them to cut the vegetable. And maybe outside or maybe inside, but after that we have to educate them that you have to wash your hand, or you can take shower somewhere and come back and then you help us to cook. Because we are offering this prasadam, this bhoga to Panchatattva, and they are pran pratishtha deities, so we have to make sure it's clean. I mean, anybody can come from the community and cook if they are Brahman, but if they are not Brahman, then they should help the Brahman, like assisting. Like if Vishwambarpu is cooking or Shambhuhari is cooking, if somebody wants to help them, he can tell them that you cut this vegetable, and Vishwambarpu can also say, wash this dish, because Rajbhog dish are washed by the cook. So therefore you can utilize like that. If they are very dirty, you can tell them that you can go and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra in the temple room. So that day is clean, you know. So we have to, somewhere we have to start, and this is where I think Vaikuntha Prabhu and Janani Mataji are trying their best to help this temple. So I'll stop here. I don't want to take more time. But thanks to all the devotees for being here. And I'll be leaving for India. I have a quick short thing that because Vaikuntha Prabhu is new to here, if you all can help Vaikuntha Prabhu manage this temple, that will be the best. And Jashoda Prabhu will be our new temple commander. If any new people coming, they can be engaged somewhere, you can talk to Vaikuntha Prabhu and Jashoda Prabhu. And Jashoda Prabhu is taking responsibility with Vaikuntha Prabhu. They will share their thought, how they can make sure the temple clean and punctuality, all the program goes, so that way Jashoda Prabhu will be helping me. So thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Would anyone like to comment on Sundarananda Prabhu's presentation to Srila Prabhu?
Well, one thing about Shakti was that one thing I have noticed is that at nighttime it's very clean in there, and even if there's just nothing in the sink, there's nothing on the whole area he's washing the dishes. So I'm very amazed how clean it is afterwards. You know, at nighttime. You know, I think he's doing a really good job with that. And then the other thing, I think when you were talking about people helping the cooks and stuff like that, if we could establish like this, like a normal restaurant or an ordinary restaurant, like there's this idea of the sous chef, where it's like a definite position where there's a chef and there's a sous chef, and the sous chef helps doing the cut up and any little other things like that, and then so if we had a sous chef, then it would make it a lot easier for the chefs, especially with having stuff. If we're going to get more detailed with weighing things and how much it's, or doing our cost analysis and things like that, the sous chef would be in charge of making sure the spice mix is ready to go, and the chef can just sort of do the cooking, and make it easier for the cook. And I think that would be really efficient. But I think if we work on this idea of what is a sous chef and what would their duties be and who are they and stuff like that.
Like as a dedicated position?
Yeah.
It's very easy.
Maybe we can do as we get more manpower, then we can utilize.
There's a question.
Yeah, sure.
Two things. One, in Alachua they have an app that lists all the services they need covered, like down to maybe washing your altar floor, and what time those services are needed, and people can sign up for them. And like if I'd have known that, for instance, that maybe someday I would volunteer and come in and just wash the altar floor or whatever, it just is nice to know what's available as service, for one thing. The other thing is I was going to ask, how can we tell people, like the other day a woman came and wanted to help cook, and then she was told that only initiated Brahmins can cook, which is the truth. But then when I later saw her, I said, "Oh, I'm sorry if that hurt your feelings." And she said, "Oh, I was born a Brahmin, and I think that God loves everybody equally." And like, she was really sweet, but I didn't know how to share Krishna consciousness with her about it in a way that just made her feel like it was, like I didn't know how we could word it. That didn't make
I mean,
it.
if you think about it, Abhi Nature comes here, she's not second initiated, she cooks. I mean, she was cooking.
Who?
So, Abhi Nature, Anala, Mashji.
Oh, and this woman's name was
No, this is one devotee who lives here in Hawaii.
Sharda.
But it's like, we're not maintaining that standard, actually, if you think about it.
So, and that's the other thing.
She was initiated, but not second initiated, right?
Yeah.
And this other woman, like, I felt stupid because here I am, like some lame American that was born in a meat eating family, and she was born in a Brahmin family, and I'm allowed to cook and shit. And, like, that is the standard, initiated, but still, I just was trying to figure out a way to say things to people that.
Well, that might be a question, a deeper one, to address later, because Anala was saying like her guru came here, Bhakti Marg Swami, and said like, he just looked around and said, this isn't up to standard of initiated, or I mean into terms of installed deities, so it should just be a preaching center, which would kind of make it more loose, which is probably not the direction of
Yeah.
certain aspects we want to go into.
But also, I mean, it seems like you want to encourage people that want to contribute, you know, so I think we can say, yes, what would you like to cook? And just have someone else there with them, you know,
That
just
is what we
making
told
sure
her.
that it's according to what we're doing. You know?
That is what
Like
we told her.
Sharda,
I think Vaikuntha
Yeah,
Put
she cooked, she's not initiated.
I mean, that is what we told that lady, and I said Sundar Ananda, she even talked to Sundar on the phone, and he was on the way, and we suggested that once he got there, he would facilitate her participation.
Yeah,
So-
she cooked here before. Sharda?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It's interesting also because this one Mataji came and cooked breakfast, which we only offered to Prabhupada in Denver, not to the deities, but she came and then she brought all the vegetables from her garden, and then one devotee, I won't mention the name, but he was saying, is she initiated, is she chanting 16 rounds? And then was making a big fuss about it, and it's like so embarrassing that here's a nice lady who like grew all these things in her garden, comes, made the best breakfast we ever had the whole time I was there, and then people are like, I can't eat your cooking, and it's like, you know, don't you go and eat your mother's cooking? Does she chant 16 rounds? Is she initiated?
Well, again, in this particular discussion, like, and this, what started this discussion is the idea of Pranpratishta installed deities. Like, we had a preaching center, a very small preaching center, and when a member wanted there to be deities, we approached the then Minister of Deity Worship, Krishna Kshetra Prabhu, now Krishna Kshetra Maharaj, and he explained that difference, you know, that Pranpratishta deities, it's all about the needs and the standards of the deities. That's why Prabhupada says 6 Brahmins and so many things to install. And home deities, but like a small preaching center, it's more about it's a combination of the needs of the family and the needs of the deities, but it's not like an installed deity. So one reason why certain lines do have to be drawn with installed deities. Now, again, like someone's cooking and it's not being offered to the deities, obviously we can have a different standard.
And from what I've heard, the history of Hawaii has never been, or maybe at certain times has been up and down in terms of standards. So it seems like we're on an upward trajectory.
Well,
Yes.
Maharaj.
I think,
No.
I think, I mean, it'll take a little doing, maybe a couple more initiations or something, but I'd like to see us go back to 5 and 6 offerings and
Right,
artis.
right.
I think that would be a big push, but we need a better develop, we need a deeper Pujari bench before we can do that.
Absolutely.
On that subject, the other day there were some guests here, and someone was preaching to them, and they asked them, "Oh, how many people stay here?"
Mm.
And they said, "Oh, we got 15 people here," or something like
Oh,
that.
really?
And which is an overestimation, but I guess it sounds good if we say there's all these people, we got a lot of people, But I think we also have to be aware of that, of what our
Agents.
yeah, exactly. That what the legal limit is, and how are we going to increase the standard within that framework?
Well-
Obviously,
By engaging
Oh,
the devotees in the community, just like you do it in any temple. When the Radhagiri Hari were installed, my wife and I lived outside, but we did Pujari service every day.
that's how the whole Lachu community runs.
Yeah.
All Alachua, Houston.
Houston, 100%.
I just want to say that it says 3 minutes
Yes.
max per person, so 3 minutes
Yeah,
max
we've
per
gone over.
person comment. So I just want to make sure we stay on
Yeah.
topic because there's a lot to go
Thank you,
over.
yeah.
So I just did the math, and if we do it like that, then that would be 42 minutes left, and it's already going to be 10. And some people didn't get to write, or they didn't submit what they wanted to say. So I just want to make sure we have
Right,
it's like
right.
15 minutes.
And
per
we can have another Isthaghosti even in a couple
Yeah.
of weeks for things that don't get covered. But thank you, keeping us on
Yeah,
track.
I'll set a timer just so we kind of know.
Does anyone else have a burning comment on this issue, or should we go to the next?
So, what I just really quick, I've heard comments that there might be people as far as the standard in the temple, because it's most temples you don't bring your plates in to get your food, but because of the restaurant situation we do that. But we could just all be careful not to bring back in like dirty plates that have already been eaten on, or like not to drink in the kitchen, things like that. So that's another conversation, but just how we can all be, at least, you know, with the situation where we're all having to go into the kitchen with our personal plates to get our lunch, at least we can make sure we don't like eat or drink in the kitchen and don't bring in plates that have already been eaten on back in to get seconds.
Thank you. Kimberly?
Hi Krishna, Sundar, he wanted me to remind you about the sink where we wash the Lord's plates. That was something that you had mentioned.
Oh, the sink next, where in the kitchen there is two sinks. One is for the duty plate to be washed, the other one where Shakti wash. I mean, all the big pots wash there. So duty sink, if we can manage by whoever wash the plate, like if I'm cooking Rajbhog and I'm bringing tray and I'm washing the duty's plates, and I make sure that sink is clean. Like Kamali, whenever they do, Ananda and Kamali, they wash the sink very nicely and looks good. I mean, Shara is volunteered to do before 10:30 to do before the restaurant opens. She makes sure the sink is clean. I requested her when the health department will come, if they see the sink is dirty and they go for washing their hand there and they see no towel, no soap, they're going to shut down our restaurant. So I humbly request the pujaris if they can keep that sink clean, or whoever, you know, like Evananda and Kambali Mataji, they are doing this Mangal thing, Mangal tray wash. I mean, and they wash their sink, and then if they cook Rajbhog, they wash plates and cups plus the sink. So there is nothing absolutely. So that's where the third person or second person comes, it is already clean. You just have to have little bit, take out those rice or whatever ingredients there, just put in
the food catcher.
Yeah, just put in the catcher.
If we do it like that, it takes
Yeah.
anywhere from 45 to 90 seconds each time you do that, you know.
Because
But if you wait, then it's like 6, 7, 8 minutes to scrub the whole thing out that, you know, after 3 weeks.
Okay, we need to go to the next topic.
Okay, so moving on, we are moving on to Kimberly. And just so you know, what we're defining as the temple annex building is the building over there. It's the same building, it's connected, but on the other side of the kitchen, the residential.
Hare Krishna. So a humble request that the women have their own bathroom. There will be a senior Mataji in particular visiting in April, about 10 days from now. And I know for sure that she will be very uncomfortable sharing a bathroom with men. And she'll be staying in the room with me. So on her behalf, but just in general on behalf of all the women here, I ran the numbers, and I think there's 7 of us, men and women, both sharing that bathroom outside right now. And if we moved all the men into the temple as far as bathroom usage, that's exactly, I think, 7 people as well. But I am aware that there's another bathroom that we can possibly have Jaya Rama make ready.
We're working
So,
on it.
yeah, like another working shower. But that is definitely a standard that I would love to see happen here.
I second it.
There's not a lot of temples where the men and women resident devotees share a full facility bathroom. I've stayed in a lot of temples over the years, and probably the first time I've seen it. I mean, guest bathrooms or small preaching centers. We had a small preaching center with one bathroom, but hardly anybody lived there. Just, you know, so as far as actual temples, this is a very hybrid situation, and there's reasons for it, obviously logistical reasons. But the idea of having separate facility for men and separate for women is very, very much normal, very much the norm. So any comments on this idea? Yes.
The room, like the room where Kimberly is, there's 2 doors, and that door on the other side, that could be the door to like the men's bathroom, and then on the other side you've got the door there's a door for the room, there's a door for a men's bathroom, and then there's the women's bathroom. And also, since that's adjacent, it would probably make it easier to connect the water lines and sewer line because it's so close right there. And then that could be divided into. So the men's bathroom would be on one side, and the women's bathroom would be on the other side.
Where is that space coming from? I'm just trying to envision
It
it.
would come from Kimberly's room. Right. So it would be, that there's a door. There's two doors. There's one that goes out to the laundry area, and there's one that comes out in the front. So if that door is already there,
So
just put a wall there, and that could be the men's bathroom on that side, and then the room on the other side, and then that would make a men's bathroom for one side and a women's bathroom for the other side.
But why would we need to use the door from Kimberly's room? It could just be a door from the other
Well,
side.
like her room has two doors, so if we just put a wall in the middle of that room,
He's
then
saying
one
you
side
could
could
turn
be the
that room
bathroom.
into two bathrooms.
Well, then the
Oh,
room will be
it'll
full.
make that room small.
Yeah, well, it would make
Yeah.
the room a
It's got
single
two
person
doors.
room, but
I see.
and then the
Oh.
double person room would be the one in the corner.
I
Turn
see.
the whole room into two bathrooms.
I see.
She gets to hear
Oh,
all the
that's
nice
that's what I'm
noises.
saying. Like that's also gonna probably make that room totally inhabitable because
Yeah, that
it's
sounds
already
like
like
a farm.
really
It
on
already,
the
it already borders the bathroom anyway.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't really change the audio.
Well, there's other ideas
That's
for
far
bathroom
fetched.
showering in the morning.
And remember, let's try not to talk over each other, one at a
Sorry.
time.
Sorry, Hare Krishna.
No, everyone please talk, but do one at a time.
Can you have another thing you wanted to go over on
Well,
the next
have we
page?
finished this bathroom topic? This
Oh
is,
yes. Anything else you
Should we go over like all the topics from one person first and then
Yeah.
talk
Yes.
after? Because it would be the time.
I
well,
would like us to meet some type of resolution, just simply because I really genuinely am concerned about Prana Priya coming. Prana Priya is an exceptional devotee, and I love her so much, and she is not going to want to share a bathroom with men.
Well, what
so
about an
she
intern? She could
expedites
use the bathroom that's in that house on the left side.
in the house on the left side.
We bought her a Nagpati room. That
Is she
bathroom.
gonna be
If
back?
not,
Not
that's-
Money's coming back.
She's
It's
okay
coming
with
right
that.
around the time.
She's already super concerned about being outside the temple. She's actually frightened to stay in the room with me. And she's
What do you
just
mean
like,
outside the temple?
like she said, oh, we're not going to be inside the temple because when she was here with her son, they stayed in the guest room.
Oh.
And so
Some
she's
creep in the
concerned that
night
we're
is
going to
gonna
be
be-
like exposed to the
Bad
material
neighborhood.
world, I mean, she's grown up in Krishna consciousness. I mean, this is
She lives in a
her
gated
life. This is
community.
all she thinks about, right? And she's not familiar at
She
all
lives in the
around
temple
like that.
in Denver.
No, in the gated community.
She's
Gated?
been married. She's always had her
Yeah, really
husband with her,
beautiful.
and
Expensive neighborhood.
We also found that when Sundar's friend came to that room, he would not use that bathroom because women use it. It's just a cultural, it's actually a really typical thing. So this is just one idea that we're gonna get another bathroom in the future, whether it's up here or it's building another one. But for now, there's two toilets, the one downstairs and the one in the men's ashram, and there's two showers in the men's ashram, so that's two toilets and two showers. So it'll be a little hard for the men that live on the outside to come up and do that. But
No.
the women have,
They have a key.
performed lots of austerities already in sharing the bathroom with not only the temple devotees, but people from outside
Yeah.
go and use that bathroom all the time. And previous devotees that used to live here, they just go, like, everyone just has access to that bathroom, so we need to put
Why
a
don't we
sign
lock
there.
that and then
Yeah.
just everyone
Yeah,
use
we
that
need to
bathroom?
figure that out.
that should be residents only,
Yeah.
really.
But temporarily for now,
Well,
we
we all
have
have
the two
keys.
toilets and we have two showers here.
Well,
Right
that's not
now,
seven
everyone
then.
and their mother is just going there and showering, you know, like.
Yeah.
I'll take this up.
We have no access to the temple at night. There's times I go to the bathroom and I live in the parking lot. There's times that there's people in the bathroom. I can't get in this temple.
Exactly.
It's locked up. What is my husband supposed to do to take a shower?
Well, we shouldn't
You
give
know,
them
my
a key.
husband cleans the bathroom. My husband does all kinds of things.
I volunteer to
It's
go
already
have all
hard
the
enough
keys
to
and
live
pay
in
for all the keys, Jane,
Yeah.
if you.
I'm sorry,
in
Ozzy.
years.
If,
So they don't
if
get
we're
lost.
able to work
There has
this
to be a
out,
way for the men to be able to access the
$1.
temple.
Of
The women
course.
are outside. No, I'm not even asking for it to be unfair either. I'm very sorry. I definitely want to make sure that everyone has access to a bathroom. So that is perhaps something that needs to be discussed or expedited. Something just needs to be resolved so that.
We need Scott here for like a month.
Yeah.
We'll figure
You
it out.
just had it.
As far as what Vishwambar was
What
saying,
happened?
as far as what Vishwambar was saying, walls are super quick and easy to put up, and it would be so easy because there is already a pipeline there.
But it could go to the outside, not to the inside.
Yeah, why not
Yeah,
just
it could go to the outside.
create that
Just build the
outside,
two walls there.
go out and over.
I don't know how much research is required. I've been told by some that the city of Honolulu may say 10 people. See, they count Prabhupada's bathroom as a bathroom because it exists as a bathroom. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've been told that they're saying there's already 5 bathrooms here. And we may be hard to get permission to put another one. I don't know. But
That's even a better reason to make that just an extended bathroom.
It's
Well, and I was
research.
thinking about this
Yeah.
bathroom, it's not like this is drawing and people are saying like, oh, I'd love to go and see Prabhupada's bathroom.
No,
and
of course.
Just, because no one even has access to it because you can't get through that door. So it's like, it's probably just pipes are gonna rust, and next thing you
Yeah.
know, if it's not being used and no one is looking at it, something's gonna rust through and we're gonna have a huge problem on our hands, so why not utilize it? Seems practical.
Yeah, it's what needs to be done for that to be a functioning bathroom.
But it's something that has to be
Door needs
discussed.
to be put
I've been
in.
told that there were different times when there were ideas like that and the powers that be didn't go for it, so it would have to be presented. It's not a simple, immediate thing that can be done.
I think it could because I think Sundar Prabhu said that he had authorization of it at one point in time. So now it seems like it's like,
True or false? True or false? Or was it overridden?
When I had a board meeting with Amrish Pu and Tamara Pu, they asked me, because shortage of the bathroom, I need to have access. Can we use the Prabhupada bathroom? And they said yes. And then later on, they're telling Govinda Datta no.
Right, that's what I
So
heard.
when I left the position, and then they told Govinda you can use.
so he's not here anymore, so it's probably okay.
Well, I guess
No,
my
but
point is,
the board has to give.
we need to bring it up again, right?
Yeah.
And we certainly can.
Well, let's get on it.
Because they might not approve to have another bathroom because you
Got it.
can only have so many people living.
We need your input, Kavi. You may have strong feelings
Sorry,
about
use
this.
the bathroom, speaking of.
Well, it seems like the bathrooms for the people that are outside or downstairs, so it seems like the bathroom should be.
Yeah.
It just seems like it should be down there, and it's that there's 2 doors there, so it's just, so we don't have to put a door in. It's next to.
It's a great idea.
Right,
For
well,
Kavi.
Where the dryers are,
It's just going to make that room a 1-person room. That's the only drawback.
where the dryers are, why not just close?
I was
it?
thinking
That's
same
it.
thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Wherever dryer, Shaktis and the dryer, we take out the dryer from there and put the bathroom in that corner.
Because our ashram situation is already so austere, we don't need to make less ashram space.
Right.
I mean,
So,
It would make
Mark and Dave,
Just make one comment.
please.
We were on Parikram in Navadvip,
Yes.
in Devananda Goluna. There were 16,000 people. There was only one
On the whole island. Liquor smelled like.
that's the difference between India Parikram and Hawaii residential.
There's 60,000 people on Kauai, and there's one bathroom.
But if you added it to that bathroom, then that might just be considered one big bathroom with like 2
We're trying to do
showers.
Two toilets,
We're
yeah.
trying to do 2 separate bathrooms.
But if you have it added to that, you know what I mean?
Oh, like they would consider.
Yeah,
it,
would just, maybe they would just consider it, it's a bigger bathroom with 2 showers and 2 toilets.
Anyway, to be discussed further.
I think the consensus, though, is that rather than getting into this, we'd rather try to create another bathroom down there so that we have a man's and a woman's easily accessible for everybody living over there and make them residents on there.
Sundar said that all they had, the plan was to just put a door there.
Yeah.
Right.
Didn't then update that because that looks like it hasn't been.
Well, that can be pursued as well. But logistically, if there was a second one down there, it would be
He's
easier
not
for
willing to sponsor the
devotees.
keys and the lanyards.
Ah,
But in meantime, if the devotee using that bathroom, they should make sure it's clean.
Yeah. But you have, these
It's
creatures
not-
in the night coming and then shaving their, we don't know what, and then leaving all their hair on the floor and then just.
Yes.
There are creatures in the
No,
night.
but then you give the key to the devotee that use, and you make
Yes.
sure it's
yeah, we
clean.
need to go back to key.
Yeah.
And I think that key is for all kind of other doors, so maybe we need to just rekey the back And I think a lot of other people have the key to that door too.
I mean, we can
So
So
get
I
that
think
key
you're-
works for the dry storage closet.
Yeah, let's-
and I think a million and one
Pantry.
people have it.
Let's try to go, Paul, to put a new
so
lock.
probably just
Yeah,
repeat the
then
whole
you
thing.
might, whoever lives here, you can give them the key.
Yeah,
Yeah.
start fresh with that.
Because I know Markandeya does the real austerity he does.
Yes.
And over the years, so he needs some kind of facility to use that bathroom
Right.
for the timing until we open another bathroom or shower. That is, I think shower will be the quick thing to do it with Jayagopal and Anantapur. If you both can get into we can do the shower next to the end of the end of the building. There's a sink in that room,
Right.
so you can just take the shower or something from that.
And the drain.
The sharer living that room has a sink. So we because Kusha asked in the beginning we should take out those.
There was something when Scott was here, though, they were about where the water's going to go.
That's where the pipe. There's a pipe that's like going all the way around the whole building to try to get some drainage. You know,
Oh.
just for that little sink. You know, so let's see a toilet or.
No, not toilet, just shower. You want to
There's
take
two
out
showers.
there.
But then someone wants to use the toilet before they use the shower.
That we need a permission to make the toilet. So that will take time.
Because I don't know what the dimensions are, but can you take, like, let's say the dimensions of the room that Sierra's been in, and take the one Kimberly's in, and make the room that Kimberly's in the same size as the one that Sierra was in? And is there enough extra space to put a bathroom in while it's not making her room smaller than what Sierra's was? You know, I haven't measured the dimensions or anything like that, but is that possible?
I mean, both rooms are big.
But I use this bathroom only. And walking up that stairs, it's not like I'm hiking up the Himalayas. I've seen Shama Prabhu, I think I've seen Ashram Raj here. I've seen when other people stayed in here, or wherever they go up there. So it's not like, you know, my thighs are so sore because I had to walk up that stairway in the morning.
not
to
that,
shower
but
and-
you know,
oh
that,
my
but that
God.
people are
He
coming
rides
into
his
the,
bike
they're coming
around
out of the
Ireland
temple
every
with
day.
their
He can walk up the
towel
stairs. It's not
around
like he's in a
them.
wheelchair and we have to push him up it or something like that.
Other thing I have a suggestion is this bathroom. We spend a lot of money to build this bathroom.
Yeah, there's two showers.
So those devotees using this bathroom, maybe Bishamba who lives there or Jashoda, they can make a schedule. Every day somebody need to wash this
Yeah.
bathroom, clean this
Which is show the
bathroom.
Prabhu's been
Because it's
good
getting
watching
dirty,
it.
I can see.
Yeah, it needs some love.
Well, now that there's less people there, there's less
Oh.
impact, so it'll, you know, it'll be
Saved by
easier
the
to
bell.
maintain it. And the soda's clean, so.
So we have a lot of notes on this topic, and for the sake of continuing, we'll go to the next topic. However, these are action items, and it's not being forgotten.
You want to go over to the next one?
You're next, yeah. Oh,
Wait, wait, let me-
Kimberly has one more.
Communications again.
Kimberly, the communication with guests.
So we're the face of this temple. So when we have guests coming, I just want to invite all of us to consider keeping it very Krishna. And speaking of temple hours, temple programs, keeping things just really on the up and up and not diving into any other topics, period. Just very Krishna. Just, you know, go take darshan of the deities, let me see if there's some prasadam for you. Just having a nice standard of, like a protocol of how we speak with guests, how we interact with them. So it's very important. We don't want to offend anyone that's maybe wearing a mask, because that's what they're comfortable doing, is wearing a mask, right? Or any other given topic. It's not necessary for us to have discussions with people who are just visiting.
Politics, vaccines,
Politics,
so many
vaccines,
things that are very
There's a lot of
contentious.
different topics
Yeah.
that we can touch in on, but none of them are relevant. I mean, people are coming here because they want to see Krishna, they want to hear about Krishna, they want to see what our temple's about, they're here to visit the restaurant, and just really keeping it on the up and up.
Yeah, yesterday there was a very nice guest that came, and I saw him, like, who's this guy? And I could see him, he was really interested. You could tell why are they here, you know? He's interested in looking at the paintings, he wants to know something, so it was like this, gotta talk to this guy, you know, and like, talk to him. And then it seems like someone comes here, and they're interested in Krishna consciousness, we should give them prasadam, you know,
Mhm.
and stuff like that, like, you know, and so got him prasadam, and then he met Sundar Prabhu and it's his Bengali brother, and they were having a great conversation. So I think he got a really good first impression. And
Yeah, he was from Ramakrishna Mission. So he's debating with the philosophy of Islam. In the end, he accepted Discovery book. He purchased one book. I said, I will give you the donation, $10. So he got first he was confused. Then I started to talk about the Bhagavad Gita. In the first 6 chapters is confusing anyway. The later on it will come. So then he took the self-discovery book.
Journey of self-discovery.
So I said, you start with this then.
Nice.
And then he's going to come on Sunday also. And he's very much now had the light to see, okay, I understand. Now,
It's a little feeling to see a person come like that.
Yeah.
And then somebody
There's
He was very
amazing
happy.
people that are coming, sorry, there's a lot of people coming that are really interested and they love it here. And they said, everyone's happy. Yesterday when, was saying, everyone's so happy here, what are your programs? So it's like, they're seeing everything from a totally different perspective than us, who are all like enmeshed in our problems and trying to figure everything out. They're actually coming and having this beautiful experience, and we want to keep it that way for them, right?
Another footnote on Mishabar's point too. We had kind of revived the program that Prabhupada had originally wanted, that we always have some easily accessible Maha sweets on hand for guests. And we try to, whoever does the transfer, whenever there's sweets, if we try to keep a little container, we always put a thing on top that says guests, and 2 or 3 days the lid's gone and thrown away. But if we could keep that going, because whenever I see guests in the temple, I run to to the fridge in the kitchen where we keep that, grab them a sweet or two, and it means everything to them, especially the Indian guests, because they understand if you go to a temple, you get prasad. It's like, it goes without saying, and Western guests too.
Yeah, I was thinking
As
that.
farmers, as the pujaris, we do the same for lunch. I usually try to make sure if it's a guest,
Thank
I
you.
make sure to come out and make sure I offer them for sure.
Thank you. Yes, so
Stuff like that,
important.
that's kind of the protocol for the
Yeah.
newcomer to
Yeah, we live here, we don't realize how special of an experience it is to go to a temple, But you know how it is. You're the pujari, you see them.
We're getting prasad 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Also on that note, there's, at ISB, they have a motto, always better service. So I think to keep in mind with what Kimberly's saying, if we're just looking at ourselves as their servant and also asking them about their lives and them, and not just like preaching at them or, just looking at like, what can we do for you? Who are you? Like, we're interested.
Great. So Ciara, you're next.
Okay. Okay, so it says women only restroom.
Covered that.
Covered that. Define system for ordering, who to go to, etc. This, I don't know where this came from. I just looked through the text that I sent you again. I don't see where
I think that was because you
Included
had
that.
listed a bunch of things that we needed.
Oh.
So I thought, well, let's just discuss
Oh,
the
okay.
system
Yeah,
Devote-
just
for
like more
that.
towels and stuff, but you guys said we talked about that outside the meeting, so.
Well, devotees need things, and
Cross that out.
sometimes we don't want devotees to feel frustrated, so we wanted to have a system where, let us know, and as devotees are shopping, they can get those things, or give you the Lakshmi from petty cash to get them yourselves, whatever it is. Just want to make sure there's a system so that devotees' needs are being met.
I think that's actually on my agenda, so
Okay.
you can get a few things.
Alright, so cleaning property, getting rid of abandoned items, just walking around the property doing japa, like I noticed so many random things. So I don't know, it seems like a lot of them are abandoned, so if we could all just organize a way to kind of clear this stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, Vishwambar had an idea where it's like, let's just put everything in a certain area, and it's like, the time is gonna run out in 2 weeks, and if you guys
Yeah,
haven't
that's a good
claimed it
idea.
or whatever, it's going to the dump or
That's a good
Goodwill
idea.
or whatever.
Or
Yeah,
even
make it
less
clear
than
and
2
let it
weeks.
be known that if your stuff's there,
Put it
get
all
it, or
out.
it's gonna go to the dump.
That
Yeah.
sounds like a fair proposal. Everyone in agreement on that? It'll be announced where it is and what the time limit is, but we got to keep things cleansing.
Okay,
Can I make one
Yeah.
comment on that? So Kushi had said to me, sometimes things get thrown out that are only used once a year or once every couple of years, so we need to be careful, like
Yeah.
those big poles that are put over there. Those are like for the tents when they have like
Janmashtami.
festival or Janmashtami.
Actually, I heard that was for the geodesic dome from Burning Man. That's what Ahmad said. Yeah, seriously.
That's
So
what
that
you
was-
said they were.
Yeah, so it's like,
Well, Sundar is checking, right? Krishna?
Let's find out what it is, and if that's the case and he doesn't want it, then
well, he wants it, but it's like where to put it. So it's like, he's gotta get rid of it, or we're going to.
I think it's the same situation with the scooters. There's two scooters there. There's an Atom scooter and there's a Coffee scooter that are there. And so, what is the best thing for those? I mean, are they usable? Are they going to be repaired?
are you going to use yours, Bobby?
Should they be sold? Should they be taken to the dump?
He's asking about your scooter.
Needs to be fixed. I'm not sure what to do with it. Sell it, whatever.
You'd like to sell it?
Yeah, but
Sell it and give you the money.
it needs
Post it
work.
today. Oh yeah, someone will
There's
buy
probably
it.
somebody that would fix it up.
Yeah.
If you're willing to do that, we could list it.
Good luck.
We could list
That
it some,
scooter
on
needs
some
some
like
work.
website or something,
Yeah.
some site.
Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that with a lot of things. And yeah, just make a little bit of money, temple and stuff.
It just not suitable up in the hill. Because I wasn't told that it's not good going up hills. Because I end up pushing uphill. That's why I started using it.
Oh.
Because the boy that had it, he didn't have to go up hills. I had to go up hills and I ended up pushing it.
Well, the shampoo pro, you like
It's not a gas,
suited
it's
up
a
your
battery.
souped up your thing, right, a little bit.
Yeah, mine, ours go like 30 miles
Up hills or?
up hills.
Yeah. You can just do something.
Yeah.
You might be the guy to fix it up.
Which one's which one's your moped?
The red ones.
It's electric though. It's
The
electric.
red one that's
Oh,
been
it's
back there for
electric.
some
It's
time?
electric. It's
Oh,
electric.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's probably a battery problem.
Okay, but no throwing major stuff out without giving the notice and giving people time.
Yeah, I'll stay in good communication.
Stay in good communication is
You
important.
post in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just go over my next two things together just for time. So it says need to organize Maha cleanups for temple kitchen, pujari room, like the closet downstairs is horrific. It's so bad. It's so bad. So like I don't know, we should organize like Maha cleanup where it's like we can all kind of, take part and clean it up.
That's a tradition in temples,
Yeah.
actually.
At Krishna House, that's what we would do around the production days. So we would all just get together and go from room to room and just.
Yeah.
I tried to start doing that in the kitchen, but I'm a person.
Well, Kaimi came and helped us that day, and we got so much done. And if we could have just kept the ball rolling with that, we can probably.
Yes, and we need to do the grease traps in the kitchen too. That's
Yeah,
really
and that
important.
hood and the ovens.
The hood really
Yeah.
need to get taken care of.
Yeah.
Dangerous
The
levels.
pressure washer's working again, so we should do all that. Yeah.
Also, when they installed that fire extinguishing thing, it blocked the container that holds the grease, and it's overflowing. You
Yeah.
can't take it out. You
If
gotta
someone
pull it
took
all
my
out.
hand towel and just put it on the ground, I'm like, sorry, ball.
It was dripping all the way down the wall, all the way onto the floor.
So is there a way we can fix this, or?
It's that container is going to have to be something cut or something.
What do
Or
you
the
know
thing that
something
holds
about
it in.
this?
It has to be engineered in a new way for it to be removed.
Right, jag up off and figure it out.
Think so?
I think so.
Yeah, maybe wire with the Dremel. You can probably cut the thing that holds There's a piece of stainless steel that holds it in there, so it can slide out on the other side, because it was sliding out one side that's blocked by like a power cable. Or something.
It's a tube that leads to the extinguisher system that comes on. That's what's blocking the tray from coming out from
Well, that.
from the vents.
Sure.
And the
Yeah.
vents, they're so bad they really need to be taken care of because it's a fire hazard now. They're really just greasy.
They are.
They really need to either be professionally done or
Well,
it's
they were
something that just
even
needs to
worse
be looked at.
in Denver, and I went there and we cleaned them, and we just used like 50 cans of the spray that we got from the dollar store, the oven cleaner,
Oh my
and then the
God.
pressure washer, and we just put it out in the gutter or whatever, and all the water went into the river or whatever. So.
Oh my god. That's
Oven
powerful.
cleaner and
Do you know how to do this? I mean, is
Yeah,
this
we have a
something
pressure washer,
you could
yeah.
take up?
Yeah. It's
a
a
good idea. We
dirty,
should find a
nasty
proper way to
job.
dispose.
What's that?
We should find a proper way to dispose and not put it in the
I
river.
mean, we have a
How
truck
can
that
we
comes
clean
every
something?
month.
Yeah.
We have a
Yeah.
truck that cleans out the
We
leach
can ask
trap.
him for
Water.
a connection, probably.
Yeah, we should have someone, I think, that can professionally take them and then maybe they put in another set while they're
Yeah.
cleaning the ones that they took from us.
Yeah.
That's what they do usually in commercial kitchens. They'll either put on another set while they're cleaning the ones that they removed. But either way,
Yeah.
it's a tough job. It's
They're
something, and because it's
But
all
this-
has to go
It was
somewhere. So.
hours upon hours. You know, I picture that person that was here just recently, like, oh my gosh, we were just sitting there. Like,
So we should probably see about who can professionally handle that and see what we're looking at.
Are we getting this in the, well, it's being recorded, right? Yeah, so we need to find who does that and,
Yes, we
okay,
will.
yeah. Like,
Okay, and then more organized parking for public events.
I have a comment on that when you're ready.
Okay,
Is there
I
a-
actually
already
this is
working on it?
this is something that Rebecca brought up to me the other day. She's like, Sis is telling me that like a lot of people couldn't get out. And she's like, you should bring this up with the issue.
Right, well, we're working with the Unitarian Church. The lady, they came to us about Easter. They wanted Easter Sunday morning park cars here. And it was perfect because we were about to approach them for our festivals. And they signed off on it. I had the lady's number. She was here again yesterday for lunch or 2 days ago. Super nice lady, Elizabeth. And I called her on Ram Navami and she got the approval from the 3 people that she had to call. And she says now she has it down. She can do it on pretty short order. So basically, they might want to park here once in a while, like Easter Sunday. So she's going to call me the Saturday before Easter, which is probably in a week or 2. And we need to move all of our cars into the auxiliary lot as far as possible so that we have a little room for them. And they can take up to 70 cars in their lot, which would really facilitate us for big festivals. So we want to take good care of them and have a nice reciprocal. Also, Tirtha Prabhu, Pastor Tom, is it? He's talking on the nearby synagogue. He's trying to get through to them, so we may even have 2 backups. But that will also require our getting as many cars that don't need to be there out, so we have more room to reciprocate with these people.
And then we should have whoever's doing the parking, Shanti Prabhu or someone like know the name of the place.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
have a little thing right here.
a little map, a little handout, yeah, definitely. This just happened like like the day before Ram Navami, so we want to fluff it out. For sure.
We could also, we can open up 2 more spaces if there's a gold like Toyota minivan that's been there for 8 months. It's been, it was over there, now it's in, and then there's that white van. So there's 2
Right.
trucks or 2 spaces that are being taken up there.
Right. When I talked to Adi about a week ago, he said that it's Muhammad's and we're restoring it because he gives us a good price on repairs and that it would be out in 2 weeks. And that was about a week ago. So that
Does
was,
he give us good price?
well, anyway,
I was wondering, does he?
I'm just repeating what I was
With
told.
the truck, we were thinking about, well, what do we need to do to it? And what has been done to it? And does he do an itemized list of exactly what he's doing and how much he's charging? Or is it, here's the car, here's the cash, and that's the end of it? I think that if he's going to really be repairing the car, he's got to make an itemized list of exactly what he's doing and how much he's charging. Otherwise, we don't know if he's giving us a good deal or not, and then we also don't know what's been done to the car, if it needs repairs in the future, and stuff like that. So.
Ta-da! Okay.
And also the parking, it's getting better with that. Those parking blocks. You need to get rebar to kind of make sure they don't move around, when people hit them and stuff like that.
And we need to get the gravel so we can move the
Yeah, and
trailer
then the gravel
over
thing
there.
too.
Get the trailer, that'll open up 3 spots. 2.
Yeah, with those 2 cars out and the trailer mirror, yes.
Okay, so we are on to Subhadra.
It's 10:32.
Okay, so first I just want to quickly thank everyone for being super kind and welcoming to me. Every single person here has been so kind and I really appreciate it. I really needed that. And then the other thing is, this isn't even the first thing, really isn't that big of a problem. The problem is with devotees taking prashadam because the ones that come, well, most of them aren't even here, but the ones that come, they usually just want a little, like something. But part of that problem is if there's guests there and someone just walks in and takes something and walks out, it might kind of look like, oh, well, people can just take whatever they want. It kind of psychologically might devalue the food a little, especially if devotees walk in with part of the other prasadam from the kitchen, which is often more opulent than the restaurant prasadam. And then especially some people sit down and take the prasadam in the restaurant, and there's like sushi or like all these fancy, really yummy looking things, and then they're like, oh, where's that? They've actually asked me, oh, where do you get that?
Where's the ice cream split,
Yeah.
We're not supposed to sit in there. That's what everybody knows.
Yeah, and also the things that, like some devotees just want a little rice or salad or something, but part of the problem is that, like even with the rice, it gets hard after a few hours, and so there might be only a little good rice left, or, but the biggest problem is that there's been every day, it's so close to running out, if not running out. One day 4 things ran out. So even if it seems like there's a lot, it's just still stressful to me to have people walk in and out and have the guests see them just grabbing food and leaving, or, anyway.
The rice issue, they make rice warmers, they have in like sushi restaurants and places like that, where it's just it's not a steamer, it's just a warmer. It's like once it's cooked, put it in that, it looks like a cooker, but it's just a warmer, and just keeps it warm, and it keeps it from all the moisture from evaporating. Because it's in those shallow trays, the moisture is going to evaporate really fast.
That's a good idea.
With the lid off.
I try and stir it up every now and then so it mixes together.
It makes it evenly dry.
But people have complained, oh, the rice is hard. So even if someone just takes a little rice, that might be the good rice. It probably is. That's a good idea.
What is the designated time to come and take prasadam from the restaurant? Is there a designated time? 2:30.
Also, just to underline it, I was working there the other day, and you just never know how many people come, right? But like I was there, and it was about 1:45, and a party of 8 showed up, and they were Indians, and they were all like under 25, and like the girls ate even more than the boys. It was like it was a great order. It was $181 by the time they got done. They had like 32-ounce trays of prasadam. They were like, yeah, it was it was great. But if there hadn't been enough for a party of 8, 40 minutes before closing.
And sometimes the busiest time is from 2 to 2:30, and then
people tend to swoop in towards the end.
Just a thought as well, as far as utensils and plates go. Then, since we're taking prasadam, all the devotees in the kitchen, right, and the restaurant's open, to avoid having to go in there at all, so that people aren't getting confused about, hey, what's going on over there? Because sometimes I'm fairly certain I've done it. I probably had my plate and I went in there to get a fork or whatever. And so being mindful then for us to somewhere, we need to figure that out. Just resolve that then, so that the plates, cups, and utensils, whatever we're going to use, either we keep it out back by the sink that we're all washing our dishes in back there that are using dishes, or if anybody has another idea as far as placing it in the kitchen, close where the prasadam is. And then that way, 2:30 hits, if there's food left in the restaurant, Jai, and if somebody's hungry, we can go partake, but otherwise then it's like separation of church and state, right?
Good point. And also just keeping the kitchen door shut,
Yeah, because there's no reason for us to go in there at all, other than napkins, plates, cups.
And I
utensils.
swear I was just getting a spoon and then I saw that rice and it was calling my name.
With the stick of the case, Okay, John.
One comment on that.
Oh, go ahead.
The reason we had that schedule, 11 to 2:30, because most of the people come from downtown, business people. Now we should ask people, well, is 3 o'clock better? It's just short hours, maybe we should do it longer. Take a survey of people coming, like the Indians, what's a better time? And maybe we should extend it. Because business people are not coming like we used to.
Also, on that note, a lot of people keep saying that they've been there before, but then I find out they don't know the weighing system, which means it was before the pandemic.
Right.
And they haven't been here in a long time. And every week, tons of people are coming for the first time in a while, and I think that's why we're running out, because we're getting busier again. And, so we do.
I told Sean that, you know, that we have to start making a little bit more, because things are, so he's aware, but we have to let him know.
Oh, the bell went off, it's your turn.
Okay. So this is something that was brought to my attention that I'm just going to pass around a list for everyone so I can get, in case anything happens to any of us, it could happen, it has happened. We don't have the legal names, we don't have an emergency contact, we don't have, you know, the insurance information or doctor. So I was just going to pass around this, and if everyone could fill out your name, your legal name, your initiated name, like your contact number, your email.
If there's any emergency, so.
Emergency contact or family contact. If something happens to someone and we don't know who to contact, like your family all the way over. You know.
I just know his name's
So
Das, you know?
So if everyone doesn't mind cooperating and just filling in, Sierra nicely made a whole little list, and you can just like fill in your information, and at least we'll have that in case we need it. Hopefully we won't, but we should be at least responsible and know who's here and what their names are.
And we need one person for who's on island, and one person can be off island.
Yeah, like an
Or,
emergency
like, two
contact should be
emergency
even just your
contacts.
friend, but someone you know, someone local. Family could be anywhere in the world. You can put one of us for your emergency contact.
Yeah.
You know, be your neighbor, someone you know and trust.
How about, this is kind of serious, but I think that we should have something, people say, well, if I just drop dead one day, should I be cremated, where the
Okay, so-
ashes be put, you know, that kind of thing.
So
Like
Yes.
that.
that's another thing we were gonna have coming, is like an advance directive.
Advanced directives and stuff like
And
that.
so everybody, you know, maybe no one's ever thought about this, but some of us are older, and if anything does happen,
You're in a
then.
coma or something, you can't communicate, what do you want us to pull the
Yeah,
plug?
yeah,
You want us to
exactly.
keep
So
you
we're
alive as
gonna,
long
that's
as
on there
Maybe
too,
too.
we're gonna,
serious
we're
stuff.
gonna print those out, and we're gonna get those to everyone soon, so everyone can fill that out, and just so we know what you would wanna do in a case like that.
The Bhagavatam has informed us that we're mortal, so you know that these things are going on.
Well, some of us are a lot older, but it can happen anytime to any of us.
So the neighbors keep thinking that the garden is little burial plots out there, so hopefully they won't turn into a little cemetery out there, but
Okay, so I guess I have the floor.
She has one more thing.
Oh, but she already covered it.
That we wanna start.
Oh, what is the system for when devotees need item for their service? Or personal needs, shampoo, soap,
Didn't we
etc.?
cover that one?
We didn't actually cover it because I said I was gonna do it.
Oh,
so-
good.
Well, the
So
order,
that,
you're ordering system.
I'm kind
Ordering
of
system.
wondering about that, because I think there has been frustration that we've been asked for things, and if it's not, and I didn't know, like, how do I get, it's just, I could run to the store and get something, but I need, like, to know how to order the Amazon from.
We know now.
So we know now, he knows. So who should people go to when they need something? I don't mind if it's
Shumbar comes to
me.
me all the time.
The temple commander.
Ding, 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 ding.
Commander, so everyone knows if you need like personal soap, or if you need something, or if you need something for your service, go to Yeshua, Kabu, and then we'll make it happen.
I've got the cash.
Hi.
We'll get the soap already now.
Okay, so I have an item, and this is, in my mind, it's very important, both individually and collectively, that our strength is actually in following Srila Prabhupada's standards, both in our personal sadhana and in attendance at the programs, at least the morning programs. And not to say that we aren't, but like just really briefly, my little history. This is the third time I've been involved in temple management. I'm not particularly good at it, but somehow or other over the years I ended up in that service. And the second time I was asked to do it, I went through the Srila Prabhupada Shikshamrita to find out what Prabhupada expected of temple managers. And I was quite astounded because over and over and over. Shikshamrita is a collection of topical analysis of letters by Prabhupada on certain topics. And letter after letter after letter to people that were about to assume services in temple management. Prabhupada's thing was, be really strict with your sadhana, be really strict with your attendance at the programs, and do everything you can to make sure that all the devotees you're serving are also feeling enthused and inspired and are taking advantage of the temple programs and having good sadhana. And like we think about management generally in a different way, like it doesn't sound very corporate, but I think the thing is, Prabhupada also said it's based on love and trust. This is a spiritual movement. So we want to have good management structures. That's definitely a weakness. But we also have to have, like this system, Pancharatrik Vidhi, practical application of devotional service, and Bhagavat Vidhi, hearing and chanting, so that we know who we're serving, why we're serving. We have the enthusiasm to serve. We have the desire to cooperate with others so we can serve even better and have a synergy as a group of devotees. That, so much of that comes from the Bhagavat Vidhi, from hearing and chanting our nice rounds, hearing the Bhagavatam, going to Mangalarti, going to Tulsi Puja, like all these things. And obviously there are exceptions, and those exceptions are, for instance, you're on the altar worshiping the deities, you're in the kitchen cooking for the Lord, you're chasing snails in the yard at 2 a.m, like there's obvious reasons why, but those should be exceptions to the rule. But if everything is an exception, there's no rule. So my understanding is that Prabhupada really wanted these things, and that his vision was that we would be really healthy ourselves spiritually and continually growing, and as a group we would really work together well and achieve great things in service if all of us are really, following that. And I'm not saying that we're not. All I'm saying is, in being asked to serve the devotees in this way, that's like the first thing that comes to my mind, is that I need to be doing these things. I need to be encouraging everyone else to do them. And the other aspect of this is, along with making ourselves nurtured and nourished and healthy spiritually, Srila Prabhupada also said that this is a preaching mission. Hey, that wasn't 2 minutes. Maybe it was. Anyway, give me another 30 seconds. He also emphasized this is a preaching mission, and the idea is that when we are all very healthy spiritually and Krishna conscious, we can bring more and more people to the temple, to see the deities, to meet the devotees, to hear the kirtan, to honor the prasadam, to take full advantage, to help in the garden, to take full advantage of all the service opportunities, sangha opportunities, and to do that we need to be a very Krishna conscious, cohesive team. The more that we are a really Krishna conscious, cohesive team, then the more when we invite people here, they're going to feel it, Like Janani Vas and Pankajangri, I was at Mother Jamuna's the day that we put her in Samadhi in Vrindavan some years ago, and Janani Vas Prabhu spoke, and he said they were these two hippies from England, and they were traveling around India, and they heard about a vegetarian meal at the Calcutta temple. And when they got to the temple, it was such a wonderful spiritual family atmosphere, they never left. And within a year they were in Mayapur, and until Pankajangri passed away during COVID, they were there for the last 50-some years, and Janani Vas Prabhu is still there, right? So, but I remember him saying that it was such a spiritual family atmosphere, they just couldn't imagine not joining and becoming devotees. And that's the atmosphere that we want, that really healthy atmosphere that you get near these people and you feel the peace, you feel the bliss, you feel the love, and you want to be a part of it, And the way to get there, Srila Prabhupada's the perfect doctor. He's figured out the diet, prasadam, he's figured out the medicine, kirtan, Krishna Katha, practical service. He's given us everything, and the more we can work together to develop that, and I just really wanted to present that, and I won't belabor the point ad infinitum, but really want to work towards that. And if anybody has any comments, please do comment. I might be living in a kind of a past era of ISKCON, I don't know, but this is the formula that I know of, and I believe it works. And
I have a comment.
Yeah.
Actually, so many people at the restaurant the past week have been really ecstatic about the temple, and I just wanted to tell you, it is, that was a wonderful talk about it, and it is nice to hear people going on about how wonderful Ramnavami was, and how they brought their friends, and they all loved it, and everyone wants to come back. And someone else walked in who said, I can't believe this. Where is it? I mean, several people have said this the past week. I've never been here. I haven't seen it. This is amazing. Like, people really love it here already. So if we even pull together more, like you were saying, it would be better.
Thanks. Yeah, when Bud Anselmi was here in May for the 50th anniversary, I was in San Diego right after that for 5 months, and the first thing he told me was, there's so much potential there. Everywhere you turn, there's people ready to become devotees. He was like so fired up. Maybe he spent a couple weeks here. He was just so enthused about the preaching potential here in ISKCON, Hawaii. He just, like, everywhere he went to the store, he went here, people were just coming up to him, asking him about Krishna, so there's so much potential.
And that Indian guy that was here yesterday, he was saying, he was saying something like, oh, everyone here is so nice. So it's really nice to see he's getting a good feedback, you know.
He wants to stay here. He asked about the guest room.
Huh.
Wow.
He's like, I want to stay here.
Let's build another level.
Yeah, Krishna can do amazing things, you know, like we're at the college at Dan Maharaj saw that house for sale over by the campus, and he's like, let's get this for a college preaching center. And it can happen. Krishna can do anything. We just have to be, you know, continuing on. Any other comments on this topic? So let's all do our very best to start with Mangal Arti. And if anybody has problems with that, please see us. I mean, there can be bona fide exceptions, but we'd really like to create an atmosphere where we're all really enthusing each other. There's 24 hours in the day, and it's the same 24 hours. And if we just prioritize what we consider to be Srila Prabhupada's program, and really try to, you know, make that our program as far as possible, and keep striving for it, I think it'll really make a difference.
And I just want to say, we understand sometimes someone needs to sleep in. So I always encourage, if you need a day, take a day, but don't just keep doing it, you know, like give yourself a day, like once a week or once every 10 days, or you just maybe you get to sleep one time, it's nice, you can sleep all day. You know,
I'll
every
sign up
once
for
in a
that.
while, you have to do that, but like make that the exception, not the rule, you know.
I find that helps making regulated days, especially
Yeah.
when I'm in the temple. Yeah, that's designated days.
Even when I was a brahmachari, we had a day off, believe it or not. We had one day off, we did our laundry, we took a long walk, we took a nap, you know.
You have a day off here?
No, we brahmacharis.
Not here, somewhere else. Don't get any ideas.
You're wondering why I'm not at Mongol. I'm sleeping in because I'm tired.
So we have 10 minutes
Don't
left.
be days off.
Vishrambar Prabhu has not.
I think that I guess one of the main things would be that I'm thinking about tools, you know, and how humans, we use tools to make things happen more effectively and to do things in a better way. So I'm thinking about, you know, all these things come up in the Isthaghosti, and you know, how, like, what kind of tools do we need to use? Like, I could have a list 4 pages long of things we could talk about and stuff like that. But how do we effectively apply those things? And I think it comes down to like the kinds of tools that we're using to organize this information and to you know, enhance communication and make it more effective and make it feel like there's something happening. You know, that, like, let's say each person brings something up, and then, you know, how does that not get lost and, you know, remembered and then gone over, and you know, find the best solution for whatever the problem is. And I think right now, like in the past, we've been using basically WhatsApp, basically a chat stream, you know, as a management tool, and I think there are better tools we can be using so that when good ideas come up, those ideas can be organized instead of being lost in the, you know, just filters up and disappears, you know. So I think we should think about like what kind of collaborative tools, you know, that are used by groups and corporations, things like that, to collaborate and allow each person to have their input and to have those ideas organized, and then once they're organized, prioritized, once they're prioritized, implemented, and then how, by who, and stuff like that. So I think it's like we need these foundational things just to support all the stuff that we're talking about, so that so we can remember it and we can organize it.
I mean, one thought on that is we're recording, and the idea, I don't know if you or anyone could help, but we wanted to transcribe this also, and then we wanted to create action items. In other words, from the points that needed action to bring them to fruition, we wanted to have a list of action items for the different topics, right? And then we could try to start targeting them to actually have follow through and get it done, And we also want to have follow-up Isthaghosis, and I think part of that should be looking at what was decided from the last one and where we're at on implementing whole business narrations. But
yeah, like for example, are we going to clean the hood ourselves, or are we going to call in a service, or who's going to look up if there is a service that does that?
right.
Maybe we should just
Just
put
like,
action
I don't know,
items now.
Yeah, that's why we need to do that, because we've covered a lot of ground.
Or a new one, how much does it cost? Who's going to pay for it? Should we sponsor all that?
Exactly.
And then part of these tools, like, besides just the organizational tools, whether they're spreadsheets or just documents that people can, if you have there's one tool is Google Docs, and you can allow other people, if they have an email address, to amend that document, and so other people can, if you've got a phone and you have an email address, you could just log into that document and read it and amend it, and then everyone will be able to see that. That would be one thing, and then spreadsheets, and then I'm wondering what tools are we going to use to determine like what our expenses are, what's our income, what are our operating expenses, and are we making money, losing money, how much do we need to make up that shortfall, like every week or every month, and so that we should, because I think if we all knew that, like, hey, the temple's spending $500 extra a month or $2,000 extra a month that we need to start bringing it in, then okay, well, we got to find an income that's going to cover that, so we can take action on, on our expenses and what we have. And
just a quick one on that point. We've been asked to do a quarterly financial, and we just finished March yesterday, which is the end of the first quarter. So I'm going to do one. It's going to be rudimentary because we don't have the systems in place. Unfortunately, the terminal that we use for all of our income, it doesn't allow you to categorize it. And so it's kind of strange, because when I had the business for
in the restaurant, for the restaurant.
Yeah. Well, everything goes through there. That's how we kind of document incoming income.
Oh, whether someone's buying a plate lunch or they're giving a donation.
We have all these tabs that designate what it is, but there doesn't seem to be any feature in there that anybody's aware of, that anybody can find. Maybe you could look at it, because you have a good tech brain, of how we can generate reports that will show this was the restaurant, this was the store, this was the
you can put a label on it. There should be
There's a label.
categorized.
Well, we have all these tabs, but we haven't seen how to make reports using those individual tabs. So maybe you could look at that with us.
Okay.
Because basically what I'm going to have to do is put all the income that came in and put all the expenses that went out. It's not going to be much more than that. I can also put a starting balance at the beginning of the year in the bank account, and I can put what's in there after the first quarter ended. Anyway, it's going to be very rudimentary. The good news is Sundar is going to India. He's bringing his daughter, who has experience in accounting, who's going to be studying accounting further. She's agreed to handle some of the nuts and bolts of this system. There's a devotee on the mainland that Kush is engaged. He's not able to do that much. We talked to him yesterday, but if his daughter does everything here, he can review it at least, because he's a professional accountant. So there is hope for the future. But anyway, I'm going to try to spend the next 3 days or so working on the best one I can with what we have to work with now. But if you want to look at that terminal with me, maybe we can figure out how to fine-tune it a bit more and zero in on categories of income and expense. That would be a huge help. but we want to get there.
Kimberly had something.
Well, I just want to mention that QuickBooks is a really awesome tool. And QuickBooks is something that you just literally plug everything into. And as long as you are organized and you stay up on it, you could do it daily. You could input, this is what the store made today, this is what the restaurant made today, this is what, I mean, you could do all types of things with QuickBooks. And
Yeah, it seems like
it's
quarterly
an
is a little
annual
bit,
thing, or
you
you
know,
buy it
quarterly is-
outright. It's something that you would do on the computer, but it's amazing. And then come tax time, all you do is just like, it's just all downloads and goes to your tax person, and it's like voila, your taxes are done. I mean, it's super simple. It's just a matter of like getting everything into it and getting started.
And having a
Excellent
person who does it.
Yeah.
And maybe your daughter will be able to do that. She's
Yeah.
she's
You
20,
don't
right?
have to, all I'm saying
She's
is you don't have to
22.
wait for
She's
somebody
22.
to show up to do
Which
something.
means
You can
your brain
literally
still
do
works.
that without saying,
It's for,
just do it.
She's going to put everything in Excel.
Excel. She's going to be putting everything in Excel.
Okay, Jack,
So that's a
go.
spreadsheet.
We would need to like talk about who would actually do it.
That's like,
Sundar's daughter, I mean, once she comes.
that anyone
Before
can
she
pick up.
comes.
That's
No,
what I'm saying,
Prabhuji
it's
is
like,
doing
working
now.
on it, you just-
When they do it consistently.
Like I could do it, Kim could
Yeah.
do it.
They might have even enough money to build the bathroom.
Yeah, who knows?
Wait, QuickBooks is cool because you can share it, whereas Excel you can't share. Like QuickBooks is like everyone can see it on their app.
We can share a spreadsheet.
With Excel.
If it's yeah, because everything's kind of like a cloud based now, so you can say who has access to it. You can give it access to like to different emails addresses, and people can get. And you can
Or
just
you
give
have
read
different
access, or you
things.
can give write access. You can do all of this. But
We have 2 minutes, so
okay,
carry on.
Okay, another big thing I think is are there any plans or any thoughts in going into getting the UH Prashadam distribution started again? Because that used to be a really big moneymaker for the temple and bringing in, I mean, from what I heard, I wasn't looking at the accounting or anything, I always heard this number, $20,000 a month, coming in just from UH. You know, so it's, I mean, so whether it was $5 or $10 or $20,000 a month coming from the UH, it just seems like that's bigger than the restaurant. It's bigger. I mean, would be our biggest income source. So it seems like it's a real.
All I've done so far is, let me just put this out there. Kusha told me that from that donation that came in for vehicles, that there could be a chance to buy a new food truck. That's what I was told. Now, my feeling, brand new
Does
here.
she know how much they cost?
Well, anyway, I'm just getting out what I can. My feeling, being brand new here, was that unless there was a designated person, I didn't feel it would be wise to spend all that money on a new truck unless there was a person who had the skills and the desire to make it mine for the temple. In other words, somebody. So in
their
that
project, the cooking and taking it out of the studio, you know, it's like a whole management project.
like sometimes when temples do things, unless there's a really person that's into it, it can be pretty, you know, not so, you know. So anyway, I asked Tom Markandeya before he left, just because he was here, and he wasn't. And I asked Nam, because Nam was trying to think of how to begin making money. He did it in Tallahassee for years. If we can identify a person who wants to head that up and really make it theirs, I mean, it would be a financial split with the temple, obviously, but somebody who was invested in it, who knew how to do it, who was intelligent, who was invested in it, because that's what it takes.
I mean, we used to do it with the people that are in this room. You know, it's
Right.
like, so
Well,
you know, Shamra used to take the truck out there and do it. And,
yeah, and if he wants to again, I mean, let's certainly talk about it.
But he wasn't cooking. You know, that was his service.
Right, so I'm just saying it's all possible. All I was saying, I was told that that truck is dead, that it's not worth resuscitating. It'll cost more than it's worth. So that's one thing.
But is that true?
Well, I'm just telling you where my starting point was 4 months ago on this.
Because
And
with the trucks, I've researched the trucks, and those trucks go up, you know, if they're not cheap, they're over $100,000, up to like
Right.
$250,000 for one that's really decked out.
I can
you know?
imagine.
And I looked at a lot of these other trucks, and what I noticed is that some really cool ones, what they were old trucks that people spent a lot of time fixing them up. They're just completely, I mean, they're pretty much all customized. You buy a new one, you got it completely customized. They build it. It's not like you buy it off a showroom or something. They actually make it and order it.
When we're at the university and you look down there where they are, all the ones I've seen look pretty old, you know?
Yeah, they're old trucks that people fix up and design and put, do the whole, they gut the thing and they completely overhaul the whole thing. And I guess that's cheaper than buying a new one.
Then we
because
have to
new
get a
ones are
residence
super
for that
expensive.
first.
Of course.
Well, living in that truck.
Well, here's one
What-
thought
You know.
for the residents. Where
Yeah.
Atma was staying, the Subaj was going at the end of the year or May or whatever. Put them in that room, see her back in the room that she's in. Food truck, fix it up.
So, anyway, this is something
We already
Think about.
I mean, it's probably bigger than a food truck. I don't know.
it's something to think about, and it's, but look, we also talked to, what's his name that used to do it in Santa Barbara, super expertly for all those years, what's his name, the Brazilian devotee? He did prashad distribution at UC Santa Barbara for 25 years, Narada Divya. His name, Sarvatman. We also asked him, but he's retired. We tried to get him to come here. Sarvatman and Divya, who were
You
like,
need to do it or to give advice about it?
to do it.
Okay.
But he just said, no, we're getting ugly, we're done. So I'm just saying, but it,
need someone younger.
yeah. So anyway,
Kaimi or something? We definitely need young, because that actually brought people with Kaimi
I can
and
imagine.
Shambhu going. They brought people to
Oh, I can imagine. No, not against it at all. I'd like to end, only because if we say we're going to go from 9:30 to 11 and we actually do it, there's more chance that devotees will come again. But did you have much more on your list?
Well, I think the main thing was that, whatever, I have a huge list, but
Right.
if I just say all these things and it just goes out into the,
Right.
what are the tools we're going to use to
Right.
make these things that come up
Right.
effective? And then when you have a collaborative system, you can be inputting these things whenever they come to your head. Okay, I'll put that in there. And then someone organizes them and then they get prioritized and then people
Right.
vetted and stuff like that.
Right, so let's work
It
on
can be
that.
happening, all of this goes to be every day.
Let's work on that. And especially finding the someones who can head it up is going to be really important. Identifying.
Group chat.
Jaiba, he had his own
That's self, yeah.
and he was doing it for quite a few years.
Mm.
And he had very nice truck. And he had some experience.
Mm.
He is good with people, like local people. Maybe he may help.
Jai Gaura Pramanande.
We do this every day.
Well, first off, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. As far as roll call, only Kavi is absent. It's not too bad. You can find him.
He's in his hut. I saw him in the temple.
Great. So, just a few disclaimers, just to get started. This will be recorded so that, to help ensure that there'll be proper follow-up, because when you have a meeting, a lot of things are said, and by recording it, Jai Kavi Prabhu. By recording it, there's, we'll have that, and if possible, we'll transcribe the recording as well, so that everything will, be there, so we can make sure there's follow-up. Is there a cushion for Kavi Prabhu?
So this one.
Does anybody need another bolster or booster? I know I like to kind of sit up at an angle a little bit. Anybody else need more? Srila Prabhupada has lots of these other pillows and things. Just let us know. Also, there's water here for anyone who's thirsty.
There's chairs too.
And there's chairs. So, we have this agenda just to try to make things flow as smoothly as possible, make sure everybody gets a chance to present what they submitted. We're trying to do 3 minutes per person per topic who's presenting, and 3 minutes per person who wants to make a comment, just to make sure. If we don't get through everything, we'll have another Isthaghosti soon to address that, but we have to start somewhere. So please be patient. And as far as a protocol, we don't want people talking over each other. Sometimes that happens in meetings. So just like in Bhagavatam class, if someone's ready to speak, if they could raise their hand, And then when the person speaking reaches their time limit, then you'll have your time to speak, so.